Hello and welcome to the Musical Chairs Podcast, the only podcast that invites you to pull up a chair and take a listen. Now, I have a very special episode of the podcast for you today. We're going to be interviewing the members of the Philly sensation Faux Paul. Yes, those guys have put out a new record called Technocracy, and we're going to delve into the history of the band, what they did to make these songs awesome, and some interesting theories as to how the world works by a couple of band members. So we're going to check that out. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about some music news. And we're going to do a special segment today. The segment today is called Stupid Music News. That's right, Stupid Music News. This is news that, quite frankly, I shouldn't care about, but yet I find it funny enough to talk about, so that's what I'm doing now. Alright, so the first bit of stupid music news is Paris Hilton. Yes, you remember her, blonde, incredibly intelligent person, has changed the course of history for eons to come, and many little girls have wanted to grow up to be just like her. Well, you can add her getting a new record deal to that list. Yeah, she actually has been signed to Cash Money Records. That's right. Lil Wayne is like, yo man, I need to sign Paris Hilton, man. Yeah, I gotta sign Paris Hilton. And he did. He signed her. So she's gonna have a new record on Cash Money Records, man. You know, the people like Lil Wayne and Birdman and Limp Bizkit is now on that record label. And, you know, a bunch of other people that probably have hit records right now that I don't know off the top of my head because I don't really listen to Cash Money Records if I can help it. So, but she's joining a very illustrious group of people, and she'll be putting out a record produced by Afrojack. Yes, he's the combination of Afros and Jacks. Anyway, yeah, so he's going to be putting together a record for her. She's really excited. Lil Wayne's probably going to guest on it, as well as 45,000 other people, so that people will actually buy the record. So, way to go, Paris! Good job! In other stupid music news, Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant can finally find himself a whole lot of love by himself. That's right. He has gotten a successful court order to keep an obsessed fan 300 feet away from him. Actually, 300 yards away from him. Apparently 300 feet is not enough. So he's saying, all right, get at least 2.5 football fields away from me. We're cool. So Robert Plant has been dealing with this person who's been following him around the world. I could only be so lucky to get someone to follow me around the world. I'm lucky if I could get people to follow me down to the gas station when I run out of gas, man. You know, I'm lucky enough to have people follow me whenever I'm playing follow the leader. You know, I'm lucky enough to get people to follow me whenever I'm going to be going down to the gas station to get me some lotto tickets so that I can win some money, knowing that I'm going to win because I've already seen it in my palm, right? And it won't follow me. I can't do that. But Robert Plant, he just walks around and people are just like, I'm gonna follow you. I don't know how he does it. He does it anyway. And he finally got a court order because this dude's been harassing him for the last 3 years. That's awesome. If I ever get enough fame to have someone follow me for 3 years, I'm gonna sign them up for my fan club. I'm gonna be like, listen, you know more about me than I do, so apparently you're more qualified. Here you go. Talk to my fans right now. So anyway, the amount of love that he's getting is a whole lot of love from this guy, but apparently from far away. All right, and in our last bit of stupid music news, Chris Brown. Yeah, I'm back to Chris Brown. I can't help it. Chris Brown's back in the news. He and Rhianna have broken up. And they broke up, and you know, Rihanna's not taking too kindly to him going back to his on and off girlfriendish girl. I don't remember her name. I'm not even going to pronounce this correctly, but Karrueche Tran, I think is how you say it. Anyway, lovely girl, pretty girl. Don't know why she sticks with the guy, but she does, and more power to her. So he's sticking out. He's hanging out with her now, and Rhianna is getting back at him. And we're going to show you how she's getting back at him. she's saying, "Kiss my ass." That's right. She's showing her posterior for everybody to know that not only can he kiss her butt, but apparently she has a really, really bad fashion designer as well, because those shorts are awful. I mean, I've never seen denim turn into a G-string before. But Rhianna feels that she must show everybody else what she's been showing to him for quite some time now. And I can't stop staring. Anyway, sorry. So, I guess Chris Brown, you know, I can't say if you're missing something. You know, the chick might be nuts. I know you're nuts, but she might, well, she's probably nuts too. So, you're both nuts. I don't know what you're missing right now, but point is that she's trying to get back at you through Twitter, and if that's not crazy enough, then I don't know what is. All right. Another bit of music news. Just gotta throw that in here last minute. So Lil Scrappy, yeah, you know, he goes into the Hall of Fame like Africa Bambaataa and Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel. You know Lil Scrappy, right? Well, Lil Scrappy is again in trouble because he failed a urine test. Yes, apparently he was on probation. He was at a rehab facility treatment, and he failed again during the urine test, and he says, "I'm addicted to marijuana. I can't scrap it." No, he cannot scrap it away. Lil Scrappy is getting busy in rehab, getting high. I'm like, if you want to get drugs, go to rehab. Apparently, that's the place to get them. That's a consolidation of drugs right there. But in any regard, he's back in jail. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Either way, kind of awful for him, man. Little Scrappy, man. I hope that, you know, you either quit smoking dope or you just find people with better urine than yours. So you can pass these tests and you get back to making some music. I'm not a fan, but you know what? You need to make some money, and maybe music's a way for you to do it. So get your scrap on, and yeah, stop smoking, man. Stop smoking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the point that everybody wants to be at, which is listening to my interview, audio interview of Faux Paul. I'd like to thank the guys for coming out to do the interview. We did it over the phone, though, so they wouldn't really go in. But I'm glad that they were able to call into a conference number, and we were able to tape it, and here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Faux Paul.
All right, so I've got the members of Faux Paul on the call. Say hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, why don't we just go around and introduce ourselves and just with your name, what you play, and something not musically related that's interesting about you.
My name's AJ. I play guitar and vocals for Faux Paul. Something interesting about me. I don't know, Jay.
And this is taking longer than it should.
How about
do you have a hobby, AJ? Do you have a hobby? Like, you know, you like to, I don't know, visit political websites? Maybe that's a hobby of yours, or...
Yeah. There you go, AJ. That's right up your alley, buddy. Big anti-government guy.
Okay. So you're kind of a anti-government, tinfoil hat wearing kind of guy when you're not playing music and singing.
Yeah, exactly. Just conspiracy theory extraordinaire. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Conspiracy theory extraordinaire.
Okay, I'm going to want to dig into that in a little bit then.
This is J.R.D. Francisco. I play lead guitar for Faux Paul. I'm about as boring as AJ outside of playing music. Everything outside of music for me is really just around my family, my kids, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm Randy Hansen. I play bass for Faux Paul. And in the past, I've done a couple oil paintings, which I've sold for like $35.
Whoa! So, like, when they say starving artists, they're really like, hey man, Big Mac is Whopper with cheese.
You're talking 70s. You're talking 70s. $35 in the 1970s.
Oh, geez, man.
I only made $70.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike McClatchy, drums for Faux Paul. When I'm not playing music, I'm actually in several bands, so when I'm not playing music, I'm spending a lot of quality time with my 4-year-old, who is actually a big fan of all my music, so very happy about that, and
the only
yeah, that's the only that too. That's true. Besides that, that's pretty much it.
I actually Nelson. I got actually a partridge family going. I've got my youngest plays drums, my oldest plays guitar, and my wife's been playing piano lessons. So outside of Faux Paul, I got like a little partridge family thing going.
Trying to put them in a band and go hit up all the casinos from there to LA. That's what you guys got to do. I mean, you can't make money anymore off record sales or merchandise anymore. Now it's touring, and Native American casinos is where it's at.
We'll be the next Celine Dion.
There you go. There you go, baby.
In the Niagara Falls region.
Or you guys could head up into Canada, man. Canadians are crazy for football. They're huge.
I think we're already huge in what is it, Sweden?
Sweden, I mean. Where?
Yeah.
I think we're the number one selling artist the last time I checked.
I think we're behind Citizen Dick as number 2.
And ABBA runs up number 3, right there. Yeah. They're in good company. Give me the story behind Faux Paul. How did you guys meet? And who started the band? Was it a mutual thing, or what's the cool story? So this is when you're behind the music. Special goes out. I want the real story, not the story you would tell those guys.
How about AJ? You tell the story of how the band got together, and I'll talk about the name of the band.
Okay. Well, JR and I have been, at least, I guess, 2 or 3 of the songs we've been playing together since 2005, I guess, but never really had a drums or bass. And over the last year and a half, JR just ended up working with a drummer and a bass player. And I guess the whole first year was just us 3, me, Mike, and JR, and then Randy came in and finished it off and did most of the work for the new album.
Yeah, that's the funny part. Funny part is our newest band member, ends up writing a good chunk of the songs for the new album, which is hysterical.
And he only plays 2 strings the entire time.
But they are
thunder, Randy.
They are thundering, yes.
Cool. And what's the story behind the name?
So, just like AJ is, and you'll get into his lovely government conspiracies probably, but we have a mutual friend who runs a music school and is in various bands himself, and he is the biggest conspiracy theorist that we know. And, we grew up with him, love him, he's great, but he believes all of them, including the one about Paul McCartney being fake. So we have a nice intro and outro to our album where we touch on the background of a Sir Paul McCartney being a fake Sir Paul McCartney. And we did it just to have a big joke. My friend just said, hey, what do you think of all this stuff? And I had said to him, well, you've got some really good points, but I don't believe in any Faux Paul. And that made the guys just crack up and it stuck.
Still does.
So you were born out of a conspiracy theorist. I love that. That's a good story. So let me ask you guys this: what is your theory behind the Paul is dead? Conspiracy. I mean, is it really Paul McCartney that's up on stage rocking the masses?
Yeah, I honestly think it really is the real Paul McCartney. I can't imagine if they could come up with a guy that sounds the same, looks the same, and plays left-handed in a year. So, yeah, I think that's nonsense, but it was hilarious. It still doesn't like the Beatles because of it.
Well, I'm looking on your Facebook page, which you can find at facebook.com/FauxPaul, and that's FauxPaul. And you guys have been rocking since like '89 through today. What kind of what makes you guys different than what you guys have done in the past? What's kind of novel about Faux Paul versus some of the other bands that you guys have been a part of?
Well, for one thing this Mike, and one thing we can say is that 3 members are also fellow employees together, or were anyway until recently. Our day jobs consisted of 3 of us, Randy, JR, and myself, so it's kind of unique. I mean, for me, I'd say the one thing about this that I love is that we all contribute. Obviously, like JR said, Randy's contributed a lot of these newer songs, but everybody takes an active role in their parts and, is very involved in the process of writing the material. So it's pretty cool from that standpoint. And some of the other bands I've been in the past, it was more just pretty much centered on one person doing everything. And it's cool to see, those 3 as the primary songwriters, and then also myself, hopefully, and getting more involved in that in the future. But all of us contributing pretty equally to different parts of the music. So.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I mean, Mike definitely writes, all of his drum parts. We don't even try to budge with or touch that, just like Randy writes his bass parts, and I write guitar parts. The lyrics come from all different places. A lot of them from AJ. A couple of the new ones from Randy. And Randy will come in with a new beat on the bass, and we'll build around that kind of thing. It's been nothing but creative. And the good thing about it, from my perspective, is we really, when we got together, it was all about, to Mike's point, we were working together. AJ and I even used to work together, so a lot of us has been together through actual corporate America. And this was always just supposed to be something that's fun, something, our release, nothing to ever be serious. And when it became serious, then that's when we said it would be a problem. So, we practice when we want, we play shows when we want, we put out material when we want. And that's been a real blessing behind it as well.
So some of the bands I've been in the past have been more like a business than just having fun. So Faux Paul's more about the fun than the business.
Yeah. What would you say is the kind of the killer to the fun from the business perspective? What is it? What is the what really kills you about some of the pitfalls that bands can get into where you stop having fun and when you're more worried about the business side? What are some of those things that you've seen in your experience that doesn't make it nearly as fun as this band?
I think AJ jokingly was referring to just even playing with some of the bands that we play with. They've made it definitely, in it for different reasons, and those kind of things definitely stand out to us as the ways we do not want to be. Nelson, you and I, and actually even AJ are very long-term Self-Scale Join After Wire fans, and even just seeing bands like that where have such great talent, but there's so much stress around it from the serious business aspect that it just explodes or implodes. And, you have more fun when you become Ivory Wire, and you're just up there doing it for yourself. And, so that's why we don't really take ourselves serious, although we really do, as you said, we do take the music very serious. We are very proud of every song that we write, and we are very proud of the stuff that we're putting out, including the videos, and we're really proud of our live shows and our sound. And, but again, we're just all about having fun, and that's what makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I've been in bands where we had to dress a certain way. You could only do a certain kind of music if you came up with a song that wasn't quite like what was happening that year. You wouldn't get done. I remember times when I shared an apartment with the other band members. I woke up one morning and opened my door, and there was a note on my door: "Get a haircut." Stuff like that. It was a business. You had to look a certain way. You had to do this a certain way. You had to do that a certain way. You could only play certain places. Other places you wouldn't play because it wasn't cool to play there.
So you guys would never play in my backyard? Is that what you're saying?
No, we will.
Definitely play.
Faux Paul will.
I would be more than happy to have you in my cousin's bar mitzvah. I would love to have you there. I would also venture to say I'd love to have you at a wake, if that's in the cards for Faux Paul, I can definitely book you. I would love to be your booking manager. I could get you those kind of cool gigs.
We do have a great song called Wake Up that we could certainly kick off a funeral with.
I told my wife, if I ever pass away, which will be never, anytime soon at least, she better have a damn party for me waiting. So, I'm just going to add you guys to the rider, also known as my will, but I'll put it as a rider, and I want you guys to try to do it, man. I want you to rock me back to life with an extended Freebird solo in the middle somewhere. So your schedule, you guys have been playing around Pennsburg, that's what you're claiming as your hometown. You guys been reaching out outside that metropolitan area? You guys looking at doing shows around Chicago, maybe, or any other places in the U.S.? Is there a tour in mind, or are you guys kind of keeping it local and building your fan base?
Nelson, if you want to have us in your backyard or at a bar mitzvah, we'd be certainly thrilled to start coming out Midwest, go to Chicago. Right now we've been sticking relatively local, definitely outside of Pennsburg, playing everything from bars to small theaters to bar mitzvahs.
So you guys have some shows coming up. Why don't you tell me about those?
Friday the 31st, we are playing at Chaplin's Music Cafe, which is Charlie Chaplin actually used to perform there. And it's in Spring City, Pennsylvania. Tickets are $10. It's a cool little place. Bring your own beer. Tables up front. There is a balcony that seats some people. But it's a cool little fun place, and in my old hometown, which is even cooler.
So in August, I was jealous of AJ playing in his hometown, so I booked one in my hometown, which is Pottstown, and a new venue that opened up in April, and it's really just getting their start. So I got us in there super early, and we're definitely looking forward to playing there while this folks cruise good old High Street.
So let's give the people a song of yours. Which one do you recommend? How about Lies, Lies, Lies? Does that work?
Yeah, that works. That's our first video, actually.
Yeah. Tell me about shooting that video. What was that experience like?
Well, it was actually during the recording of the album. That was really the first thing we did when we got in. Must have played it 15 times. But it was really fun, and it's really all studio footage, a little bit of us outside before we came in and stuff, and I thought it was great. I mean, I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. The studio that we recorded in is TriTonix recording studio in Hatfield, PA, and they did the video as well as the audio, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out.
I recommend folks listen to and check out TriTonix recording. They've been recording a whole bunch of local artists that are playing out every day.
All right, so shout out to TriTonix. Go check them out. We'll put a link to TriTonix recording there as well. And let's give a spin to Lies, Lies, Lies by Faux Paul.
That's a great song.
Man, I like the part, especially where we get to where I was watching the video, and I liked watching the drum setup in the high-speed motion. I said, I've never seen a drummer ever put a drum set together that quickly.
That's as good as it gets when it involves the drums with me.
Who came up with your cool poster design? In the video, you feature a cool hanging poster for Faux Paul. Who came up with that design? Is there a story behind that?
The one in the video, the banner?
The banner, yeah. The circle.
Go ahead, Jack. That's called thievery. Is really what it is. There's a symbol for the Fringe division from a TV show that was on Fox called Fringe that's no longer on, and they had a logo that we kind of borrowed from. It was essentially just an F, and we made and the F was backwards, and we converted it to the P, and they had a yellow star, and we converted it to the yellow RPM 45 record insert, and basically just stole the idea.
Well, I also noticed that in the design there was a 45 spacer in there, 45, and it kind of harkened back to some of the Pearl Jam artwork in the 90s for some of their singles. Was that intentional, or was that kind of it just kind of happened that way?
You nailed it. It was fully intentional. We totally stole it from the Spin the Black Circle idea, and I mean, we are diehard Pearl Jam fans and have seen them a bunch of times live, so it was definitely a throwback to them.
All right, so let me throw this hypothetical at you guys. So you guys are rocking it near Pottstown, right? And Eddie Vedder walks in. He's like, "I want to sing with you guys. What 4 songs? What songs each of you would you force Eddie to come and sing, and you guys would play? What would be those 4 songs and why?"
I would definitely pick Red Mosquito. Force? Jay, do you want to do the last 2?
Well, I mean, I'm selfishly thinking about Immortality and Rockin' in the Free World, since we cover those as Faux Paul.
Ruby Mirror.
And Ruby Mirror, yeah, we could do that one.
Yeah, we can do that.
And whatever the new stuff comes out, I'd like them to play those since I haven't heard them yet.
Teach it to me real quick, dude. Just real quick. Just show me the chords. It's cool. It's cool. I got it. I'm good.
It's before you know it. Let's hear.
So it sounds to me like, based on your song choices, you guys are more akin to the Yield and Before era. Is that an accurate assessment?
Not for me.
No?
I like them all for different reasons. I think just the older records were in that time of kind of figuring out who you are when you're like 19, 20 years old. Their songs just resonated. That was pretty much our growing up time, but now I mean they're older, so we can't expect them to have the same interest as the music changes, and I think that's keeping it real and not just playing stuff that other people love, but what you want to play. And that's kind of what I love about them. And other bands that have been around for 20 plus years, they all kind of figure that out. And sometimes you lose fans that way, but I'd rather be true than sell out.
So you're more into, you want to see a band evolve and change as they mature as people, and versus, the I don't know if you guys read the blabbermouth.net bulletin boards, which I peruse daily because it's just funny to read, but those guys would love to see Metallica 1981 forever. Never.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little harder with metal to maybe... Because once you kind of leave it, you really... I mean, those guys that like metal, I mean, they still love metal. They really haven't changed. And, when they cut their hair and stuff, people flip out about that just because they cut their hair. And, I mean, it's nuts. But, yeah, I mean, metalheads like metal, and when Metallica branched away from it, a lot of people didn't like it. But, and getting off the drugs, that kind of changed his lyrics around.
Well, the way I look at it is, when Stone Gossard cut his hair, it definitely made a change for me. I couldn't listen to Pearl Jam anymore.
See, that's the difference with the metal fans.
Yeah. Mike McCready, he was much better on heroin, and then, pick your drummer. Pick a drummer, any drummer, for Pearl Jam, if we're not changing drummers every 5 seconds, then I'm not going to listen to Pearl Jam. That's the way I work.
Well, wait, aren't you a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan? Billy had no hair. What's wrong with Stone having short hair?
Well, yeah, but what transcends his hair is his whiny voice, which has been pretty consistent from the beginning. So that's the real glue behind that band. Whereas, a band like Metallica, it's all tied into hair. It's kind of a Sodom Gomorrah kind of thing. I'm probably messing up the biblical reference right there. Yeah, it was probably a bad mess up I did. Samson, that's what I really meant, but I'm going to go with Sodom and Gomorrah anyway. Yes, I'm going to go with Sodom and Gomorrah anyway. But in any regard, you guys, where do you guys kind of see Faux Paul in the next year? I know you guys are kind of like taking it easy and doing the high road, but are there any other plans in the short term or goals that you guys are kind of looking at for the band?
I think your evolution within a year will probably be done. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say I'm growing my hair out.
Yeah, you wish you could.
Yeah, I'll shorten the top, party in the back. I'm bald.
For Larry Fine.
Yeah, Larry.
Nelson, we want to kind of go old school, and now that we've put out a full album, we just want to start doing a bunch of where we're in the studio, every couple of months, throwing down some new song, and, a B-side, usually a funny B-side. Like I said, if you listen to our intro and outro to the album, it's just, to us, it's literally hysterical. Looking to move away from, like you said, you can't really make money on merchandise and full albums anyway, so just kind of putting out fresh material constantly, always throwing out a new song and keeping people listening and interested, and then building shows around that. That's essentially how we want to handle the next year, rather than just hunkering down doing shows and working on an album and then recording a full album later. We'd rather just keep putting out stuff so we're always in people's face.
So that's a really cool modern approach to getting the buzz and also keeping interest with everybody within the band, right? Because you guys keep putting out fresh stuff, and as soon as it's out, you guys are going to come up with something new. Keep it going. Right. I think it's a really cool plan. So why don't we give them another track off the record? You guys have a favorite that you want to play?
How about Down the Road?
We're going to play Down the Road by the always famous Faux Paul. Check this out. I heard some thundering bass coming through this line, and let me tell you.
Yeah, that's a Randy song. He wrote everything on that one.
So Randy, what was it like coming into kind of like this dynamic that was already established, and then being given so much freedom to contribute so much? What was that like for you?
It was very nice. Of course, but when I first started with them, I really didn't play bass. I was a guitar player. So I'd already been playing guitar for 30 years, but I'd never really played bass. So I did have a bass guitar, so I just kind of started. I kind of learned as I went along.
Randy has more guitars than AJ and I combined. So it was a little bit of convincing him to push that aside and come try the bass, and then all of a sudden he had this whole new feel for how to write a tune. Wouldn't you say, Randy?
Oh yeah, because the songs I write on bass seem to be a little bit more funkier than what I write on guitar. It's just like the nature of the instrument for some reason. So yeah, there's a lot of freedom. Basically if you come up with a song that they like, it doesn't matter what kind of song it is. It could be hard rock, it could be pop, it could be acoustic, doesn't matter. If they like it, they'll do it.
That's cool. And did you guys write all the songs, like you have a batch of songs, but were there more songs that didn't make the record that you guys would release, or is it just kind of like you just worked on these and these are the ones you put out?
I'd say we had double that.
Yeah, I think there's like 3 or 4 that we really didn't work on very much, and one JR will never work on with me, so that might have to be on my solo album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's 3 or 4, and I think JR wrote most of those, actually, which, sucks for him, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not a great writer.
No, I like them.
Your publishing royalties are not going to be coming in, JR. Not off this record.
Exactly. Well, it's funny. We always complained about Pearl Jam saying they had enough for 2, 3 albums, and they would put out one, and we'd be like, we just want to hear the rest of it. Now I kind of get it, because there really are. Besides, there are a few that we could probably work on and put out, but there's probably another 6 that are just collecting dust at this point that we left behind and just didn't feel we're going to fit. But they
definitely did fit this record for sure.
You can record them all and then, do your own little Lost Dogs compilation.
There you go.
See, I'm in tune with your Pearl Jam side. I'm catering to that.
Oh, think you're looking that shit up or what?
No, actually a lot of this knowledge is in my head, believe it or not. I'm actually a very avid Pearl Jam fan. It's just they lost me after Yield. That's the only problem. I have all the records, but just they lost me. So, yeah, that's what happened with me, unfortunately.
That's a common theme, which was great for us for our tickets and our seats.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, the more people that drop out, the better for me.
No, I still hold my breath every once in a while when they see they're coming out with something new, and then I wait. But,
and just think you could have went and saw them at Wrigley.
I could have, but it sold out, and then yeah, and then had I actually tried, I really could have gotten tickets, but I decided, you know what, why take up valuable space from someone who really does adore them, although So why did you guys name the album Technocracy? And I also noticed as a follow-up, you guys had a little contest regarding the album cover. So why did you name it that, and why did you have a contest?
I mean, everybody can look up the definition of technocracy. It's basically my feeling was that in this world of unbelievable technology, the only thing that we've really gotten out of it is really a better way to kill people. And that's the way I feel. I mean, think about it. It's all about war, and war has gotten so tense that you don't even need people anymore.
On the lighter side, we even just literally joke around the fact that, and even my family is victims of this at times. But, a family being together and, TV's on, everybody's got their laptop on their lap and their iPhones in their hand, and it's just, hysterical the way people are communicating today. So there was also a little bit of that. on top of the wars going on in the world and the drones taking over and all of that.
Yeah, if you want to go lighter, people don't know how to talk to each other anymore, and stuff like this is very rare. I mean, we could have probably emailed each other, and that probably would be better for a lot of people, but it's fun to talk to people, and we're really moving away from that, and I really don't like it.
We believe a lot of it, and we look at it as, a curse word, really. Technocracy is a curse word.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something positive in my mind, which I wish it was, because it could be. You'll see that in a lot of the songs. It angers me.
For the record, I'm guilty of technocracy myself, but although I don't kill anybody. But no, to what AJ's saying, I mean, it is something I think we've talked about as a band. It's interesting when, like Jay was saying that, it's like I see my son on my iPad. I'm guilty of some of this myself, of course. It's like I sit there and I watch him fly around on it like it's nothing. Like from day one he knew how to use it. It's kind of weird, and I just look at it like, wow, this is the future. I mean, I feel like I'm becoming that old guy who's like kind of crotchety, like, wow, there was a life before this, like we actually talk to each other, and it's like, I try to balance that, and then I look at, the world around me and you see that constantly. It's just like people are just so focused on, black brain one hand, iPad in the other, whatever it may be, and it's kind of, there's obviously pluses to technology naturally, but it's like there's a lot of harm, I think, in just the desocialization of things and so forth. So that's all.
Let me give you guys a task when we finish this interview. I want you guys to go to your internet connection and unplug it for 30 minutes and see what happens.
For me, that's you'd be lucky if I'm near a computer or a TV tonight, so I'd be alright.
Well, from AJ's perspective, I want him to.
Do you want me to plug my computer in?
I want you to plug it in for 30 minutes. Exactly. Okay. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah, I know. I love the technology. I just think that I think we've become too reliant on it. I guess that's the best way to say it. I think that there's good in it, and it definitely makes things easier and faster, but when, like you said, you leave the house and you forget your phone, are you going to turn around and get it? I think you are, and there's a lot more important things than having your phone with you, in my opinion. But I fall prey to that too. So, but yeah, I'm good without it.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I'm just finishing up this text here.
Well, I've been downloading porn the entire conversation.
Well, there you go. I mean, there is your number one evil right there.
Hey, man, I'm not making war. I'm making love. There's a difference.
And 99% of that internet is that, and that's bad. For your mind.
Well, with that said, from what's the album cover? You guys had some choices to make. What led you guys to kind of ask your fans to help you with deciding on the album cover? What's the story behind that?
We really couldn't make up our mind, and we thought it would be a really cool idea that keep the fans involved and see which one they like the most. Of course, they didn't pick the one I like, but that's fine.
AJ had about 100 ideas that we tried to narrow down to 6 or 7 that we just wanted to put up for a vote because we couldn't decide.
And it was unanimous. I mean, it was like 9 out of 10 people picked that one. And now that I look at it, I think it is the best one. It wasn't my first choice, but it fits perfectly.
And who did your album cover?
Google. For some reason, when you click on images, there's a ton of album art covers right there.
Mr. Google. All you gotta do is name on top of it, and we were done. It was pretty cool.
I mean, you know, if the guy that drew it is listening somehow, give us your name and I'll give you credit. But until we're huge and somebody complains about it, it's staying.
Well, there's a lot of love about this. The dichotomy here is that you're groveling against how technology has ruined the world, and yet you went to Google to find your album cover.
No, I didn't say it's ruining the world. I said there is good uses. I just said that the people that are in charge are not using it for good.
Oh, my apologies.
AKA Google. AKA Google. Oh yeah, I don't Google anymore. And a quick plug: if you want to do smart search, that's the only safe search engine that there is for everybody listening out there.
All right. So we're going into the final leg of the interview. So we've got to hit up the conspiracy theory side. So hypothetical here. You guys are on tour. Okay, you're going around the country. Don't have a TV, but you got to get your news. How do you do it?
Without a computer?
I don't have to get news. I personally don't have to get news.
I could deal without it. I mean, I would just get a drug. Without a TV or without a computer and TV?
It's without a computer and TV.
Oof.
You guys are done.
Well, those guys are just talk to me.
Go to the newspapers?
No, them
newspapers.
Yeah, newspapers
They still make those?
is the best way to go because the local is not as corrupt. At least
You might as well buy your samurai swords and stuff then too.
Yeah. Well,
Would you be touring with the samurai sword?
I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be able to get on a plane.
Well, let's stick with the hypothetical. You're in a van. Okay, so no plane. Okay. You guys are just doing the dirty van that breaks down every third show. You know, but you don't know if the apocalypse is upon you. You don't know if the world's falling apart. I mean,
as long as there's not a zombie trying to eat me.
Yeah, this sounds to me like this would be AJ's kind of, in a sense, a dream for AJ, right? Because you'd be disconnected from the grid. And then you would have all the weaponry that you would need in the van. And then if you needed to, you could just push your bandmates out of the van if the zombies are coming after you, and you can escape.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say aside from the zombies, that is AJ's dream world.
Yeah, I really like being alone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the guy that just hides in the basement in dim lighting, like in The X-Files, like Mulder. There you go. If you want to compare me to anybody, it'd be like Mulder. The truth is out there. Yeah, it is.
So on that note, I thank you guys for a very enlightening interview with Faux Paul here. Their album is Technocracy. Go check it out. It's on iTunes, Reverb Nation, CD Baby, and anywhere you see them play, you can get this cool record. I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your schedule to do this with me, and thank you. This is awesome.
Thank you, now. So welcome. Thank you, man.
And that's all I've got for the Musical Chairs podcast. Once again, I'd like to thank Faux Paul for coming out and giving me an exclusive interview. Those guys are going to be raucous. So check them out. They're playing a bunch of shows. So go to their Facebook site, Faux Paul. Search for them or go to fauxpaulmusic.com and you can check them out there. Get their record on iTunes, CD Baby, Reverb Nation, local swap meet, underground bunkers, and wherever conspiracy theorists are sold. So you can get their record, do it, awesome. Also, subscribe to the channel. Visit us online at www.musicalchairspodcast.com. You can visit us on Twitter at musicalchairspc and on Facebook. All right, I'm out. Thank you. Bye.